July was slow for adult coloring news. I'm pretty sure the mainstream media took a vacation, but there was still plenty of news from Illustrator updates and all kinds of coloring book releases. Let's kick things off with the coloring news I did find. Twisted Sifter mentioned a new study revealing how just 45 minutes of coloring, drawing, or crafting can lower stress. In fact, 75% of people who were involved in the study had stress relief. So the next time you're feeling overwhelmed, consider a creative outlet. And if you want to get inspired, check out your favorite coloring channels right here on YouTube. Speaking of health benefits, WGBH has an article about how senior centers in Massachusetts are using creative activities like coloring to reduce isolation, which is a growing health risk among elderly adults. Moving on to news about books, Publishers Weekly shared a mid-year sales report for 2025, and one detail stood out. Even though physical book sales are down, there were 4 adult coloring books that made it to the bestseller charts. No specific coloring books were mentioned, but despite there being lower book sales, coloring books continue to draw interest as a creative pastime. Before we continue, I am this close to getting to my 2,000 subscriber milestone. And in celebration, I have a little giveaway that I will share in the comments below. So go check that out. Now that you know what's happening in the news, let's check out what's happening among illustrators. Jade Summer is exploring upgrades to premium quality books, while Whimsy Tales researched premium papers for their books. But what I did find interesting was that Whirly Art and several other indie illustrators, they have teamed up with a European-based printer to offer select books on premium paper. And if you're interested, I will go ahead and leave the printer in the video description. And there were 2 other illustrators with interesting stories. RJ Hampson shared a video outlining the origin behind his published books. And Design Stack featured Aaron Creighton, an illustrator known for colorful portraits. Next up, you'll find some coloring trends and coloring events you don't want to miss. In August, there are 2 hashtags worth checking out. One is related to animals, and the other's related to frogs. Looking ahead to September, there are 2 coloring events, Space Timber and Folk Timber. Space Timber 2025 is a coloring event that encourages coloring pages about space and celestial-themed pages, and I'll leave a link in the video description. As for Folk Timber, it's all about folklore, so it's perfect for fans of fairies, fae, and other folklore-inspired pages, and I'll leave a link in the video description. There were 2 coloring trends I noticed more in July, the paint stroke and disco effect. The paint stroke effect kind of has a streak across your coloring page, and then you see other areas of the page left in grayscale, which does make the painted section stand out even more. The disco effect is kind of self-explanatory, but basically certain elements have that on the coloring page. You can also find a tutorial by Yeti to Color on TikTok. Let's check out some creative finds. Artix is hosting a drawing contest with $1,000 in prizes, and this event ends August 31st. It's also no surprise we're seeing products you can color. Life of Color has released color your own accessories, from tote bags to drinking bottles. And there's also another brand called Coloring Your Own. This one offers pouches, backpacks, and blankets. Color with Claire recently reviewed some of those items, so I'll leave that in the video description. Time to shift gears to tutorials and tools. DD Plums released an Ahuhu palette generator. Some of the key features include selecting a palette by mood or style. You can also browse community-created color palettes. So far, the response has been fairly positive among Ahuhu fans. Next up are tutorials to inspire your next page. The Artful Life has a tutorial about how to fill in empty backgrounds of your coloring pages. There's also a Swirly Clouds tutorial by Daria if you like whimsical, dreamy skies. And if you love vibrant colors, Color with Lola has an incredible rainbow sky and water tutorial you can check out. Next up is coloring books and upcoming releases. In case you missed it, I put together a video featuring over 200 coloring book releases and announcements in 2025 so far. I'll drop that link in the video description. But before we get into the July releases, I wanted to share a resource that you'll definitely want to check out, especially if you like human-made art. Sarah Renee Clark has launched Line Art Library, a new resource dedicated to human-made coloring books. The website is currently getting built, but you can submit human-made coloring books in Illustrators right now. Let's check out the latest coloring book releases. Nick Filbert, the artist behind Serene and Fantasia, has a new release called Loraine, and it's no surprise to find it's a masterpiece. In case you're curious about the designs, T's World of Adult Coloring and Evelyn Colors have book flip-throughs that you can check out. As for other books related to fantasy and fairy tales, we have two traditional style releases. A Magical World is a new release from Deborah Moeller, and the other one is the English edition of Fairy Tale Worlds. And if you're new to Maria Troll, these books come with premium quality paper and a hardback cover. Let's swap out fantasy for nature and wildlife. What's Inside a Garden is a unique release with science and nature in mind, and I do have a flip through on the channel if you want to take a closer look. And in case you missed this in late June, wildlife artist Steve Hamlin now has his book on Amazon. This book is called Birds of East North America. After spending time with nature's wonders, let's step into the world of history, travel, and everyday life. Ellen Artistic, the creator behind The Queen's Traders, has released Knights and Princess Volume 2, and there's some captivating designs in this one. Rococo World is a new coloring book inspired by French elegance. And there's a second volume of Cozy Eras. Mindful Girl also has a second volume. And the last cozy lifestyle coloring book is Moments of Her. Now let's launch into space and celestial coloring books. The Alien Encounters coloring book, and in case you missed this a few months ago, there's Cosmic Nonsense, which takes a whimsical and cute approach. Starcana Cosmic Alchemy appears to be the 4th edition of the series, blending celestial with mystical design. Let's drift into whimsical and cozy coloring books. We have Return to Hopstone, which continues the Goblin Core adventure by Susie Slug. Whimsical Forest is an intriguing coloring book. There's also Whimsical Cozy Fantasy Isometric Corners by Whimsy Tales. And Mini Dragons is a new release by Whirly Art. There's also a book to the best of Whirly Art, which is available on premium quality paper. I'll leave a link in the video description. And then I'll go through the next ones fairly quickly. We have Flowers and Fairies, The Lore, Medieval Times, Magic Forest Girl, Mystical Muses, and there's a surprising re-release of the fan favorite. The Huldrefolk now has 3 new special editions. Let's tiptoe into books with creepy and cute vibes. We have Cozy Spooky, Spooky Fun, Spooky Days, Spooky Cutie Volume 2, and Color Me Halloween. Let's switch gears to some furry sidekicks. We have Cat Bestie, Street Cat, and Chloe and Macy is a premium coloring book dedicated to 2 real-life dogs. And it's time for some cute, fuzzy, and cozy coloring books. We have Lulu's House of Wonder, Mini Mania Volume 7, Aloha Adventures, Frog Nights, Bug Friends, Breakfast Club, Silly Boot Goosen, Ocean Fuzzy, Cozy Ocean Life, Magical Realm, Macro World, Fuzzy Movies 3, Patterns World, and Meowgic Land. After all that cuteness, it's time for some bold and easy coloring books. Color Me Cozy by Peter Proper Press and Cozy Girl Relaxation by Jeanette Veronica. Let's switch to patterns and color by numbers. We have Elegant Patterns, Marvel Zombies Color by Number, and Color by Number Tiny Houses. And there were several skill building books worth checking out. Among that list, How to Draw Beautiful Patterns, How to Draw Patterns, and the last one is Draw Your Adventure by Samantha Dion. This one was kind of neat because it has a creative guide, which is perfect if you want to draw some backgrounds to your coloring pages. That wraps up the latest releases, but the year is not over. There are still plenty of books expected in 2025. Let's check out these animal lover coloring books. The Big Book of Burdens is an upcoming release from Sugar Sweet. This one takes on a heartfelt journey through life's challenges, told from a bird's point of view. This one is expected for release in August, and cat lovers will enjoy The Friendship, expected in September 2025. And there are some nature-inspired releases also coming out later this year. The Birders Drawing and Coloring Kit includes a sketchpad, drawing guide, coloring book, and colored pencils, with an expected release in October 2025. Floriographic World of Flowers is a botanical coloring book expected for release in December 2025. From nature to fantasy realms, there's a wave of coloring books worth checking out. Steampunk Revival is filled with steampunk designs by R.J. Hampson. This one is expected in August 2025. Epic Quest is packed with adventures from Dungeons, Dragons, and Monsters. Dragons of the Realms is an official Dungeons & Dragons coloring book featuring legendary beasts and epic scenes. The Wicked Witch of Oz may have a magical twist on the Oz universe. Fantastic Creatures has dragons, fairies, and other mythical beasts. There's also Romantic Gothic, which blends romance and dark elegance. Love and Dystopia has emotional storytelling with a futuristic twist. Manga World spans genres from mecha, steampunk, and dark academia. Spring Beauty is an elegant portrait-themed coloring book expected for release on the author's Etsy store in August. Let's check out some upcoming spooky coloring books. There's a new Spooky the Cat coloring book called Creepy But Cute. This one is expected in August 2025. Dark Magic and the Witch Hat is expected for release in November 2025. Lastly, Reveries is all about dreamscapes and nightmares, with an expected release in August 2025. And thanks to Carefree Coloring for reminding me about that one. Now that you have a dose of spooky coloring books, let's check out these books that are dedicated to shows and novels. Stranger Things has a complete coloring book from Netflix, expected for release in September 2025. We also have the official Blood and Ash coloring book, which brings the fantasy world to life. This one is expected for release in November 2025. And for fans of the Fourth Wing, I did share the coloring book last month, but there's now a coloring book and sticker bundle that's just a couple dollars more. And you can now see some previews of the designs on Amazon. From epic stories to festive coloring books that celebrate holidays and seasons, we have Spring is Here, Color Me Winter Wonderland, The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, Christmas Doors, Cozy Core Christmas, and Christmas in the Village. After all of that seasonal cheer, we do have some color by numbers. Mystery Coloring Tropical, and Enchanted Woodland. Peeking into 2026, there's already a lineup of coloring books. Flower Fantasy is one upcoming release that Karen over at My Colorful Country Live shared, and you can pre-order it at imusic.co or Amazon UK. And here are some other exciting books worth checking out. Mythographic Fairy Folklore, Mythographic Alice in Wonderland, Mythogoria Cottagecore, and the last one is One Piece. This is an official coloring book from Netflix. But what an exciting month for coloring book news. Next up is All About You from YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. What Colorful Worlds is a YouTube coloring channel to follow if you enjoy frequent updates about everything adult coloring. But there is one video you can't miss. It's an art room tour. And Zooveraart shared 4 personal coloring guidelines that keep the hobby stress-free. Everything from book purchases, coloring prompts, and work in progress pages. It's definitely worth a watch. And I have 2 more on YouTube. Lina over at Carefree Coloring has translated the World Literature coloring book. And then I also found a hidden gem. Sugar Sweet has an ASMR YouTube channel called Mr. Melodious.
Why, hello there. I didn't see you sitting here in the dark. Are y'all ready to have some color and fun? We're going to use the burgundy as the dark on top of that kitty nose pink. We're just going to go back and forth until it's perfect.
At the moment, there are some color-along videos worth checking out. The next set of colorists are all about coloring pages. Nay's Ace Art shared a Zelda-inspired page in a Whirly Art coloring book. Cat and Paste worked really hard on this page. It has an embroidery effect. Alyssa Coloring has a dreamy page in an Elven Valley coloring book. Melissa Colors shared a magical bike ride with sparkling rainbow trails. Asha's Creative AF has a Popeye-inspired page in a Bobby Goods coloring book. Well, that's your news for July, and I do have plans to make a mid-month check-in for August book releases, so be sure to check back for that one. Thanks for watching.